Hi guys, I'm welcome to prediction week 18 and we start with the lunchtime kickoff tomorrow, which is Everton versus Arsenal. Both teams have got new managers now, obviously Everton appointing Carlo Ancelotti and Arsenal appointing Mikel Arteta. So I think Arteta will be in the stands tomorrow, as he's only just been appointed I think today. So I think he's in the stands for tomorrow. I'm not quite sure about Carlo Ancelotti, but I'm guessing that both Mikel Arteta and Carlo Ancelotti will have a say in the team selection and the formations and this, that, the other. So I'm going to go for a tight draw in this one, purely and simply because it's two managers on the day, and we always know when it's a new manager, you usually put your heart and soul into everything and usually get a good, decent result. So I'm going to go Everton 1, Arsenal 1. On to the 3 o'clock kickoffs, we have Newcastle versus Crystal Palace. Again, this could be quite a tricky one to go for because, again, it depends what kind of Crystal Palace team turns up. Newcastle's been doing quite well. So I'm going to go for a tight draw again in this one. I'm going to go Newcastle 1, Crystal Palace 1. We then have Aston Villa versus Southampton. I think, as I say, Aston Villa's done quite well this season. I think they could consider themselves unlucky, to lose the games like I said against Arsenal and Tottenham. I thought they could have. I think they should have deserved more than what they got. I think they even got a draw against Manchester United, if I'm correctly, and I think on the day they should have beat Manchester United as well, so they can count themselves a little bit unlucky there as well. Again, this is going to be like a different kind of game there. I don't think Southampton's going to give you a lot of time on the ball like your top teams would. But it is at home, so I'm going to go for Aston Villa to nick it. I'm going to go Aston Villa 2, Southampton 1. We then have Norwich versus Wolves. Again, this is quite a hard one to predict because, again, Wolves aren't exactly the team that they were last year. They've been a bit of a yo-yo team this year. And I suppose you could say the same for Norwich, the bottom of the league. But there are games and they do have some good, decent performances. Not so much decent results, but some decent performances. So it was, again, quite hard to call this one. But again, I'm going to go Norwich 1, Wolves 2. I just think that Wolves have the better quality, and if they decide to turn up on the day, they can string a win together. Again, another tight one to call, which is Brighton versus Sheffield United. Obviously, Brighton, getting a couple of good results. One being a victory against Arsenal. Sheffield United also a victory against Arsenal, and I think Sheffield United got themselves a good decent result against Manchester United. I think they were 2-0 up, then they got it back to 2-2. Something I think it ended 3-3 or something like that in the end. I can't remember now. But I'm sure they did get a good result against Manchester United. And obviously, as I said, they did beat Arsenal, which let's be honest wasn't really hard to do. But again, so it was a hard one to predict. So again, I'm going to go for a tight draw. A lot of tight draws this weekend, isn't there? So I'm going to go Brighton 1, Sheffield United 1. We then have Bournemouth versus Burnley. Again, Bournemouth's not really been fantastic this year. Not been shit, but they've not been great. They are at home, so I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to go Bournemouth 2, Burnley 1. At 5:30 is Manchester City versus Leicester, and some people might raise their eyebrows at me. I don't think that Manchester City had to really do anything against Arsenal last week. I think Jamie Carragher said it. It was a training session for them. I don't think they did anything special at all. I think Arsenal were really just that shit. We just made Manchester City look absolutely fantastic. And let's be honest, Manchester United aren't great, and they went to the Etihad and took 3 points off them. Norwich took 3 points off them. So again, I don't think Manchester City are great this season. Yes, okay, they beat Arsenal, but as I said, they didn't have to work for that. That was just a complete walk in the park. Completely different game this weekend, though. I think Leicester will make it hard for them. Leicester will get in their faces, and I'm going to go for Leicester to nick it. I'm going to go Manchester City 1, Leicester 2. I'm sorry, I know that they beat us 3-0 last week, but they didn't impress me whatsoever. I don't think they had to do anything in that game to convince me that they've turned a corner, if you like, and that they're putting pressure on Liverpool. Not a chance. I think Liverpool are more of a threat Leicester are more of a threat in this game, and that's why I've gone for the victory for Leicester. On to the 2 o'clock. On to the Sunday kickoffs at 2 o'clock. We have Watford versus Manchester United. Again, Manchester United. I said that they'd do that. They'd get a good, decent result against Tottenham, a fantastic result against Manchester City, and then they'd go and draw to Everton or lose to Everton, and in the end they drew. It's just typical Manchester United. But I do think that they will beat Watford this weekend. So I'm going to go Watford 1, Manchester United 3. I think it's going to be quite comfortable, actually. They have got some good, decent players there, Manchester United. You know, they could get their act together. You know, they could do things this season. But again, they're the same as Arsenal. They just don't. They have a couple of good results and they go back to square one. But I do expect them to beat Watford this weekend. So, as I said, Watford 1, Manchester United 3. At 4:30, it's the return of Jose. We have Tottenham versus Chelsea. Again, I'm going to go for a tight draw in this one. As I said, Chelsea started to slip a little bit, and Tottenham's here and there since Jose's come in. But so I'm going to go for the tight draw. I'm going to go Tottenham 1, Chelsea 1. And the other game that would have been played this weekend, but it's been postponed because I think Liverpool's playing in Qatar or something for the like the best in the world kind of thing. Which would have been West Ham versus Liverpool, and for that result I would have gone West Ham 1, Liverpool 3. So that's my predictions for this weekend, guys, and I will see you either Monday or Tuesday for the Boxing Day fixtures. Thank you for watching, guys.